نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين آمين. Okay. So today, inshallah ta'ala, we are on our lesson number 3 for our series of Unlock the Quran Arabic Level 1. So let's do a bit of a review of what we covered so far. We covered that there are mainly three types of words in Arabic. You have ism, fi'l, and harf. Hopefully, we all have a good understanding of what each category is. Ism, as we discussed last time, is a word that has an independent meaning, but there is no time associated with it. An ism is not just a noun. Arabic ism contains a lot more, right? It has a, a wide category of things that it includes. It includes noun, adjectives, pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, relative pronouns, adverbs, verbal nouns, participles. Like there's a huge category of words that are within the category of ism. And then we discussed fi'l, okay, the past tense and the present tense. And then we discussed last class what a harf is. Harf is a word that requires other words to make sense of its meaning. Are we clear so far with this? Having said that, today I'm going to give you some basic points that are so necessary for us to understand before we move on. Talking about the ism,
Sophia, Sophia.
can you guys please mute your mics? I'm just going to mute everyone. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. So, some of the basic points that we now need to understand is that all nouns in Arabic are either masculine, either male or female. Okay? All nouns. In English, we don't have this. In English, we don't have specific gender associated with words. But in Arabic, all nouns in Arabic are either male or female. They have a gender associated with it. For those who speak Urdu, right, they can understand that better than the ones who can only speak English. Because even in Urdu language, you have masculine words and feminine words, right? Now, another difference between English and Arabic is that we usually have a singular, right? We have a singular object or we have a plural, right? When you were kids, you had to probably memorize the plural or the singular of some words, correct? But in Arabic language, you have three categories. You have singular, plural, and there's another category called dual. Okay? So in English, we only have singular or plural, but in Arabic, we have singular, dual, and plural, meaning Arabic identifies when an object is one. Arabic identifies when an object is two people or two things. It's specific. Arabic is very specific that when there is more than one and less than three, there's only two people. Arabic specifies that there are two people. So in the language, you will see the dual category as well. And then when there are more than two, okay, or three plus, then that is called plural. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So we discussed that the nouns in Arabic, you have male and female, noun plus. Let's just call it noun plus or ism in Arabic. You have the gender, male and female gender, they're masculine or feminine. And then regarding their number, when you categorize them by number, let's say if you want to say one table in Arabic, you can specify there's one table. You can say more than one table. So there's a word for it to be one table and there's a word for it to be plural tables, but there's also a word to identify that there are only two tables. Okay? This is important. It will come in the Quran. You will see it. Then another thing, the basic point that we need to learn that in the English language, we have first person, second person, and third person. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by persons? Okay. What do I mean by persons? For example, first person. No, it is not a tense. Second person and third person. Meaning, if I'm talking about someone, I am talking about someone that is not present in front of me. That is a third person. So talking about this person is not present in front of me. We call it ghaib. What do we call it? Ghaib. What do we call it? Ghaib. Okay? Or al-ghaib. That is the person. He's not in front of me. I am not that person, but I'm talking about someone. So I am saying he did it, she did it, they did it. Do you understand? So pronouns like he, she, they apply to them. Does that make sense? That's a third person. That is a third person. Okay. Now let's look at a second person is I am talking to this person. I'm talking to this person. He is or she is present in front of me, meaning you guys. You guys are my second person. When I say you do it, okay? You do it. This word you is the second person that is in front of me. You guys are in front of me. So you are my second person that I'm talking to. Make sense? Then comes in the language when we speak first person. What is a first person? First person is the one speaking. I, we. Okay? So the second person is called hadir, hadir. Okay, the one who's present. Al hadir. And the first person is called al mutakallim, meaning the one who is speaking. So in the language, whenever we are speaking, we're using three person all the time. Okay. Either we are talking about ourselves. I did this, I went there, I went to the mall, I ate this, I like to dress this way. We do this as a family. We went there, we were on a vacation. I'm talking about myself, right? Mutakallim. Or when we're speaking, we're talking to someone. For example, I'm talking to you guys or talking to my children. Could you please get up? Could you please eat your food? You need to do this, or you went there, or I told you to do a certain thing, right? That's my second person. Or when we talk about someone, somebody who's not there, or maybe they're there, but we're not talking to them directly. We say, he did this, or she did this, or they did this, or they are doing it, or she is doing it. Do you understand? Okay. So essentially, there are three ways we use our pronouns. All right? There are three ways we talk to people, right? There's this I and we category. Then there is you category. And then there is he, she, they category. Are we clear so far? If I were to categorize the pronouns in the language, okay, this is basically the nutshell, right? Now let's go back to what I said in the beginning of the class. In Arabic language, you have singular, plural, and what else do you have? Dual. So Arabic language is very specific. If I am talking to one person in front of me, in English, I will say you. If I am talking to multiple people in front of me, what is the word I will use? Again, you, right? If I am talking to two people in front of me, what is the word I will use? I will use the word you. So in English, for whether I'm talking to one person, two person, or three people, I'm just using the same pronoun you, right? However, however, Arabic is like, no, you gotta be specific. You gotta know, you gotta tell the reader or tell the listener this you. When you're speaking to one person, you in Arabic is different. When you're speaking to two people, you in Arabic is different. When you're speaking to three people, you in Arabic is different. Do you understand? Similarly, Arabic says, if you're talking in English, we say if I'm talking to one person, he. If I'm talking to more than two people, they use the word they. But Arabic says, no, no, hold on a minute. When you're going to talk about one person, I'm going to use the word he. If I'm going to talk about more than three people, I'm going to use the word they. But Arabic is like we need another word to identify that I'm talking about two people. So Arabic introduces another word. Does that make sense? Now let's look at what are the Arabic counterparts of these words, these pronouns. Okay? When I will mention the Arabic counterparts, it will make more sense to you. Inshallah. Okay. So let's look at the most easiest one, mutakallim, which is when I am talking about I and we. How do we say I and we in Arabic? I, the word or the pronoun for I is ana. Ana, which means I, me. Okay? Then the word for plural is nahnu. Nahnu, which means we or we. It means we. That is for plural. What is the word for two people when the two of us are sitting together? It's the same word, nahnu. Okay? To identify more than one or two people, Arabic in the mutakallim category, it says we will just use two words, ana and nahnu. Ana means I. Okay? Ana, teaching. I am teaching you guys. Okay? Nahnu, we all are learning. Do you understand that? This is the easiest one to understand. Ana and nahnu. And the same words are used whether you're male or female. So as a female, I will say ana. If I was a male, I will still use the word ana. If I'm a female, I will still use, we are all females, I will use the word nahnu. If we were all male, we will still use the word nahnu. Does that make sense? This is the easiest one to cover. Ana and nahnu. Okay? Now let's look at the category of ghaib, meaning the third person. We're going to talk about someone. Okay? For that, I'm going to write down first the words for male and then for female. If I got to say he or she. So the first word you need to learn is hua. Hua means he or it. Okay? And this is the word to refer to a masculine thing or a male. Hua, hua, hua. Okay? Then the plural word to refer to more than one man or more than two men is hum, which means they all. All is very important to know. Hum means they all. They all. Now remember, I said Arabic wants to know the word that you will use to identify two people. So if I'm talking about two people, these two or they two did this, they two ate that, right? Then Arabic is like, we've got a word for that, and that is huma. Huma, which means they two. Does that make sense? So how will you memorize this? How will you learn this? You're going to take your right hand, okay? Wave your right hand. Imagine we're waving our right hand. And I want you to take your right hand and point it to the right. You know how the traffic control people do it? Point your hand to the right, okay? And then make a fist and just point a finger to your right. And you imagine yourself that you're pointing at a man on your right. Okay? Point at a man to your right and say hua, he. Hua, he. And then I want you to imagine that now there are two men on your right. There are two men standing on your right. You're going to point your two fingers towards them and say huma, huma. Now I want you to imagine that there are lots of men on your right side. So you're going to point towards all of them and say, put all your hand towards them and say, hum. So quickly, hua, huma, hum. Hua, huma, hum. Hua, huma, hum. Hua, huma, hum. What does hua mean? He. Huma means they two. Hum means they all. Does that make sense? Okay. This was your masculine ghaib. Now let's look at what if there were females standing. What if I want to talk about females? So the pronoun in Arabic we use for one single female is hiya. What is it? Hiya, which means she for an for a for an actual female, and also it, because in English there is no other counterpart for the feminine word, so we still use the word it for translation if it's a feminine object. Now, for plural, if there are lots of female, the pronoun that we will use for them is hunna. Hunna. Remember, the masculine was hum and the feminine is hunna, which means they all, but obviously this is referring to females. Okay. For dual, if there are two women, if you're talking about two women, we use the same word as for male and we say huma. Okay. Now, for our class purposes, you're always going to imagine that men are on your right side and women are on your left side. Okay, we are going to play this visual mind game with us all this time. Now, imagine that the men are on the right side and the women, the female, are on the left side. Now, I want you to stretch your left arm out. Stretch your left arm out to your left side and point a finger at a female. Now, you can do You can imagine somebody you love, or you can imagine somebody you really hate. Okay? It's totally up to you. So you point at that female and you say, here, she, here, she, here, she. Then you point two fingers to your left and you say, Huma, she, Huma, sorry, Huma, they two, Huma, they two. Then you point all your fingers, and then you say, Hunna, they all, Hunna, they all. Does that make sense? Okay. Just to make things a little bit more clear, let me just clear that. I'm going to draw you. This is you. Okay, sisters? All right. This is the right side. This is the left side. You're going to be pointing your fingers here. Okay. All right. So you're going to point one finger, two finger, three, four, five. All right. And this is your fingers here. So right side is the male side. This is just for learning purposes for our class. And we're going to imagine left side to be the female side. Okay. Got it? This will make things easier for you to learn when you're pointing. Okay. When you're talking about yourself, you're going to you're going to say ana nahnu. Ana, I am, touch yourself, and nahnu addressed as if you're addressing everybody. Okay? Now, let's go back, inshallah. Excuse me. So we figured out how to talk to people, talk about people in Arabic language when we are not using their name, when we're referring to them by he, she, or they in English. Okay. Now, pronouns are the easiest to master in the language. That's why I'm starting with them. And once you learn the pronouns, inshallah ta'ala, you will be able to do your translations much better, especially when they come as attached pronouns with other words. Okay. So we talked about متكلم, أنا, نحن. We talked about غائب, هو, هما, هم, هي, هما, هن, right? Let's talk about حاضر, الحاضر. Somebody who's present in front of you. How will we talk about them, or how will we address them in Arabic language? Okay. Now, if there is a man standing in front of you, if there is a man standing in front of you, let's say it's your child, your boy, and you want to say, you go up. You go up. Now, in English, obviously, we're going to say you. But Arabic is very specific. Arabic has different words for different genders and different numbers. Okay? We have established that. So you will say anta. What will you say? Anta. You. That is for a male. You male. Okay? You have two boys. Let's say you have twins, or there are two men standing in front of you and you're talking to them. You will say the word antuma. We will repeat this so many times. So even if you don't, you just need to take notes right now. Okay? So if you don't memorize it right now, that's fine, because we will be repeating it many, many times. You too. You too, male. Okay? If I'm talking to a lot of men in front of me, let's say if you were all men, I will address you as you all. I will say antum. Okay? Which means you all. Obviously, male. Is that clear? So now I want you to take your right hand. Remember, we use the right hand to address to the men. And in our class, we're going to use the left hand to address to the women. And I want you to take your right hand or right arm and point in front of you and say, Anta, you. And then I want you to point two fingers and say, Antuma, you too. And then I want you to point all of your fingers and say, Antum, you all. Okay. Anta, antuma, antum. Anta, antuma, antum. Anta, antuma, antum. Make sense? Okay. Now, if I had to address to females in front of me, if I had, for example, let's talk about you, and I want to talk to, let's say, in our class to Asma, but I don't want to say Asma's name, and I will say, you will write this down. I will say anti, anti. Do you see the difference? Just the difference of a haraka. For masculine, we use the word anta. For feminine, we're using the word anti. And in English, the translation will be you again. But Arabic readers will understand this is a female. Okay? For dual, for two people, two females in front of you, we will use the word antuma again. This is interchanged. For both male and female, we use the same word in Arabic for this. For a lot of females, like for example, all of you, if I'm talking to all of you, I want to say antunna, you all, antunna. So the word I will use is antunna. Okay? Which means you all female. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I want to show you the chart. Okay. I will share this chart with you guys in the group. This is your study chart. Okay. This is a study chart. Basically, what you're seeing here is singular, dual, and plural on the top. And then you're seeing the third person masculine. So this is how you will study it. Third person masculine, huwa for singular. For dual, it's huma. For plural, it's hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Then for hadir, it's anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. And then for mutakallim, the first person, ana, nahnu, and nahnu. Does that make sense? Right? Now, to make you understand why we studied this, I'm going to give you some examples from the Quran. Okay. Let's look at some examples from the Quran here. The following are examples of detached pronouns from the Quran, meaning the pronouns that you can actually clearly see. Okay, so I'm just going to get myself a highlighter and we're going to start highlighting the pronouns here. So the ayah in the Quran is Huwallahu ahad, Huwallahu ahad. What do you think huwa means here? What is the meaning of huwa? He, very good. Very good. Then huwa khayrul lakum. Now I want you to understand, huwa here is referring to Allah. He is Allah, the one. Okay? Here it is used as he. Got it? The next verse, huwa khayrul lakum. What is the meaning of huwa here? What is the meaning of huwa in this it? Why? Because khayr is a noun. Khayrun is a noun. It's a noun plus. Do you understand? Yes, it's referring to an inanimate noun, a noun that is just a word that gives you a concept. It is good for you. Here you will not translate huwa as he, because remember, huwa can be translated as he and it, a masculine it. Okay? So here the meaning of huwa becomes it. Then comes ayah number 40 in Surah 9. إِذْ هُمَا فِي الْغَارِ إِذْ هُمَا فِي الْغَارِ. Without knowing the meanings of this ayah, can you identify the pronoun in this ayah? What is the pronoun in this ayah? Based on what we studied today. You don't know the meaning of this ayah, but just looking at it, can you find some word that you know already? Huma, very good. Huma. Huma means they two. Do you see how important it is to identify in Arabic? When they two men were in the cave. Is huma fil ghar. Okay. Then let's look at the next part. وَمَا هُمْ بِخَارِجِينَ مِنْهَا. Can you identify a pronoun in this ayah? وَمَا هُمْ بِخَارِجِينَ مِنْهَا. Hum, excellent, excellent. What does hum mean? They all. And they all are not coming out from it. Then, in hiya illa. Oh, by the way, hum, is it masculine or feminine? Is hum masculine or feminine? Masculine. Very good. Very good. Now, in hiya illa hayatuna dunya. What is the pronoun that you can recognize in this ayah? Hiya. Very good. Right away, when you see hiya, you know this is feminine, right? But because we don't have a human or an actual person that we can translate as she, hayatuna dunya, worldly life, it is used for the worldly life. So we know that the worldly life is a feminine word in Arabic language. So hiya is used, which means it. It is not but our worldly life. Okay? Now let's look at the next examples. Hunna libasul lakum. Hunna, very good. Hunna is your pronoun, which means they. Now, in English, it will translate they. Why did they write in bracket wives? To specify that hunna is the plural of feminine. Very good. They are apparel for you. Hunna libasul lakum. Do you see how important it is to identify that? How specific Arabic language is? Then, ayah number, let's look at the next ayah. أَأَنْتَ قُلْتَ لِلنَّاسِ. Did you say to the mankind? What is the pronoun here? Anta, you. Anta qulta linnas? Did you say to the mankind? Very good. Then we know this is referring to a singular man, a single man. Antuma wa man ittaba'akum al-ghalibun. Antuma, very good. Which means you two and those who follow you shall triumph. It's specific. The translation will be you too, not you all. Antuma. Very good. Okay, let's look at this example. وأنتم لا تعلمون. وأنتم لا تعلمون. Antum, very good, which means you all do not know. Very good. أنا ربكم الأعلى. أنا ربكم الأعلى. أنا, very good, means I. نحن نرزقكم. نحن نرزقكم. نحن, and the transition will be we. Okay. Was that easy or was it hard? It was easy? Good. Alhamdulillah. Easier with the examples. Of course, examples always make things much more easier for us to understand things. Okay. So this is the chart you should have with you, and we will always keep coming back to it. Okay? But for today's class, this is what we have learned so far: how to talk about people, how to talk to people, and how to talk about ourselves. What pronouns we can use for ourselves, for the people we're talking to and for the people we're talking about. Okay? Inshallah ta'ala. This is where we will conclude. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.